Morning! We just parked up at Wasdale Head, where we've just passed the small church of St Olaf, and we're heading into Lingmell Beck, this valley here, where today we're going to have a revisit to Piers Gill and Lingmell. That's Lingmell up there, Great Gable, Kirk Fell, Pillar, Red Pike and Barra. As I just showed you, we have the new car, or the new old car, the Citroen Berlingo multi-space. We've been doing a little bit of work, putting the roof box on and sorting the back out. We've got a bed for the back, some blackout blinds, so hopefully it'll give us many good adventures, me and Tracy and Billy. Head past the church and follow this track all the way to Burnthwaite Farm and into the valley. It's the 12th of April 2025 and it's an absolute beautiful bluebird day. We've had 2 weeks of this. Apparently today is going to be the last day of this beautiful weather, and it's going to turn more seasonal again tomorrow, so we're taking advantage of it. Early start, it's about 7 AM now. It's the Easter holidays, so that's why the early start. Wasdale today is going to be rammed, so hopefully this route we're doing will miss most of the people heading up onto Scafell Pike, as we're not going to do the pike today. We're going to do Lingmell, I think. We're just passing Kirk Fell there now to our left, and Great Gable. Sun's just coming up at the bottom of the valley, but it's not above the mountains yet. It's past sunrise. I think sunrise was about 6:30. So yeah, Piers Gill. There was a lot of publicity about Piers Gill last year, as a few people got lost down there and had to be rescued. There is a fantastic path, runs up the left hand side of the gill. Under no circumstances do you want to enter the gill from either the bottom here, or even worse, the top, from the corridor route. If you enter the gill, there's almost no chance you're going to get back out of it. So keep to the path and you'll be absolutely fine. That's Lingmell to my right. Once we get round this shoulder here, we're going to cross Lingmell Beck and start heading up the side of the gill. Scafell Pike is round the corner, we can't see it yet. And look at that view behind us of Wastwater. If you'd like a little bit more information on Piers Gill and the walk, including Scafell Pike, I do have another video on YouTube. I'll put the link in the description. Across the little bridge here, and there's the sun just coming up. The crags of Great Gable, White Napes running round to Great Napes, and the Napes Needle. And as we're heading round Lingmell, Scafell Pike's now coming into view. Good to have the rock star back with us. I don't think he was happy last week when I left him to go and do Sharp Edge. Well, I certainly wasn't happy leaving him anyhow. There's Scafell Pike. Follow the river up a bit, we're going to cross just a little higher up here. Some lovely little plunge pools up Lingmell Beck. We've had no rain for a good few weeks and they're still quite full. We're going to cross the beck here and we're going to start heading up that little bank there and up the left hand side of Piers Gill. A better view of Scafell Pike now in the sunshine. We're on the left hand side now and we're looking straight into Piers Gill. Head round this first little crag and there's Piers Gill straight ahead of us. So far up the gill there's another little crag we've got to scramble over. Drop across this secondary gill first to our left hand side. I'm not sure of its name but I think it could be Greater Gill. It's another very impressive looking gill actually. Up there, there's no route up there so don't be thinking about going that way. Well, not that I know of anyhow. Across the Lyle Beck here where Billy is. The other side of the gill and on this very clear path above Piers Gill, and if you're down there you really don't want to be. You need to be up here on the left hand side of the gill. It's a very dangerous place, the gill itself. A lot of people have lost their lives in there. There's no path on the other side of the gill. Well, certainly not for a walker, there isn't. What a magnificent place. Basically we're heading up to that crag. You can see the sun shining on. Lingmell, the other side of Piers Gill, also shining in the sun. There's the rock star doing his stuff. Don't go falling off the edge. It's a long way down. keep on the path below this second crag. Higher up there's another crag that we can't avoid scrambling over. There's no access round it. There's a big buttress on the side that drops straight into the gill, so you don't want to be round there. Dangerous ground. We've got to be up here and scramble over that little crag there. We're going to go up the crag somewhere up there. I've came to the edge of it here just to show you that there is no access round this side. Very, very steep all the way down into the gill. So let's go and find our way up the crag. Basically, pick your easiest way. I think there's a gully about in the middle of the crag. That's the one I usually go up. Just about here. We're above that crag now and back on the path. Just a couple more rocky sections and then we'll be on the top. Well, above this crag anyhow. Just to my left there, up there where the sun is the small summit of Middle Boot Knots, 703 metres. It's a nut all, just if you were wanting to bag it. We're not going to bag it today because we've done it a good few times. We're above the crag now and right on the edge of the gill. I've brought you over to have a look. Not for the faint-hearted, that's a long way down. And just look at that view behind us. Kirk Fell, Great Gable, Green Gable behind Great Gable, Sca Head Tarn. In the far distance you've got Blencathra. We'll continue to the top of the Gill, where I'm going to point out one of the most notorious black spots in the Lake District, where the top of Piers Gill meets Scafell Pike's corridor route. Poor weather, folk have came down from the summit of Scafell Pike, met up with the top of Piers Gill, thought it was the path down, and they've ended up dropping into Piers Gill. Initially it looks quite easy, first few 100 yards, and then you start dropping into the steep sided canyon, climbing pitches, waterfalls. You start going down them and it's impossible to get back up. You get down them and then there's worse ones to come. Sadly, one or two people haven't came back from that little mistake, so it's one you don't want to make. I believe they were going to put a sign up here. I don't know whether they have. I'm all for it, to be honest with you, to keep people on the path, you know, on the corridor route, and to stop them from getting into trouble down Piers Gill. There's the corridor route, right at the top of Piers Gill. We're going to traverse along this old dry stone wall, across Lingmell Col, and then up to the summit of Lingmell. This is the top of the corridor route, where the path hits the top of Piers Gill. Just down here, look. You could be mistaken in thinking you could get down there, but it's impossible. And this point here, if you're ever here in bad weather where this little wall is, do not go down there. Corridor routes that way and that way. There's a bit of water if you've got a dog, the top of the corridor route. Head round this crag in the direction of Hollow Stones and then start crossing Lingmell Col. I'm going to leave the main path here and head down towards that wall I showed you, and then up to Lingmell. Lingmell Col's easy enough to get past. It's all grass and then a little bit of a pull onto the summit. The wall's broken down, so just head up any side of it. Piers Gill now below us. And Lingmell straight in front of us. So that was Piers Gill, and as you've seen, we had it entirely to ourselves in the Easter holidays. It's not a popular route. It's well known, but it's kind of a bit notorious, so I think its reputation puts a lot of people off, and rightly so, because if you don't like exposed places, remote places, or that feeling of being totally alone, it's not a place you want to be, really. We got Wasdale down to our left. I don't need to show you too much of that at the moment, because when we head down the nose of Lingmell, we'll be looking at Wasdale for a good hour. The Hollow-stones route behind me to Scafell Pike is absolutely buzzing. It's heaving with folk. Just down there, Scafell Pike, Sca Fell, Lingmell Crags, Piers Gill down there below them. The summit of Lingmell, 807 metres. It's a Wainwright, a Burkitt, a Hewitt and a Nuttall. It has two summits. It has this one with the cairn on, the first one, and then it has another one over here. I'm not 100% sure which is the highest point, so I usually go over to both. Also, this one over this side's a lot more quieter because most people just go to the one with the cairn on. Here's the second one, no cairn on this one. This one certainly has the best view. Look at that. Wow. Behind Kirk Fell we've got Pillar, Red Pike, Ewbarrow, Middle Fell, Buckbarrow and Wastwater. The nose here of Lingmell, our route down. We're going to head down the front of Lingmell back into Wasdale Head. just met one of my subscribers coming down Lingmell, Dan. Really nice to meet you, mate. He was with a group of his friends that were completing the last 4 Wainwrights. Lingmell, Scafell Pike, Sca Fell and Slideside. So well done guys, I hope you've caught up with the channel. If you have, please think about giving me a subscribe. That's one impressive group of hills to finish your Wainwrights on, isn't it? Look how dry it is. There'd normally be a bit of water in here, it's only April. Oh dear, I can feel the hosepipe bands coming already. We've got a nice cool westerly wind now. It's been blowing easterly for weeks, it's just turned into the west, hence the weather due to turn tomorrow. You can feel a bit of a change in the air. Wow, still a lot of folk on that path up Hollerstones. Impressive looking mountains from here, aren't there? I mentioned earlier about Piers Gill getting a bit of publicity last year because of the problems people were having getting lost down there. And I also mentioned that there was a lot of people arguing amongst each other as to whether or not they should put a sign on the top of the corridor route warning people not to drop into Piers Gill. I also mentioned that my opinion of that was I think they should, and the reason I think that is because if they don't, the next person that sadly goes down Piers Gill in poor weather by mistake and dies would have still been alive had there been a sign there. So just hold that thought. Should they or shouldn't they put signs up in notorious black spots? I think they should. If it saves one life, it's saved a whole world of unhappiness. For some family, that's the way I see things. It's a nice grassy ridge off Lingmell, very comfortable, and believe me, it's a lot easier going down than up. It's quite steep coming up from the car park at Wasdale Head. It's all downhill now. There's Waswater. Follow the faint path in these cairns. There's a few pitch steps and a little bit of a scree path before you hit the next grassy section at the wall below us. This one's too high on the other side for jumping off, so I'm going to have to help Billy over it. Not very gracefully done, but safely done. It's a high one that, so just be careful with that one and a big dog. So we haven't got that far to go now, maybe about a mile or so, just to the bottom of the ridge here. Then we're going to follow this path below us, going right back to the car park, which you can just see over the brow of this little ridge. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's walk. Piers Gill. I wanted to come back, not particularly to do another video, which do love making videos anyhow, but more because I absolutely love the route, I love the place, and because the last time I didn't have the drone and I really wanted to get some dramatic drone footage of Piers Gill. I hope I've done it justice. By the time we get back down to the car, we'll have done about 6.5 miles. It's not too long a route. If you wanted to incorporate Scafell Pike, that would make it about 7.58. So yeah, until the next time, if you like the content, please think about giving me a subscribe. It's bye from me, and bye from our lad, the Rockstar. Go on. Today's walk starts from the free parking at Wasdale Head. Heading out the car park, we took the footpath up to Lingmell Beck. Following the Mosses trod path, we head up the valley and eventually crossed Lingmell Beck and steeply started to head up the left hand side of Piers Gill. Once reaching the corridor route below Scafell Pike, we crossed over into Lingmell Col and headed up to the summit of Lingmell. From the summit, we dropped down the nose of Lingmell all the way back into Wasdale Head and back to the car.